Welcome to Indian Movie Recaps. Today, I will show you a historical fiction film released in 2022 called RRR. Spoilers ahead. Watch out and take care. The film begins in a village nestled in the dense forest of India, where a little girl named Malli delights everyone with her artistic talent and sweet singing. Her drawing captivates the local villagers until Scott Buxton and his entourage arrive. Catherine, Scott's wife, expresses a strong desire to take Malli as her servant. Edward, likely Scott's manager, offers money to Loki, Malli's mother, who initially believes it's for the drawing. It quickly becomes clear, however, that Catherine intends to buy Malli as a servant, treating her as a mere commodity. Desperate to reclaim her daughter, Loki runs after the vehicle, pleading with the English to return Malli. A soldier approaches and aims his gun at Loki, but is halted by Scott, who deems the bullet too valuable to waste. He orders the soldier to find another way to deal with Loki. The soldier then strikes Loki on the head with a piece of wood, attacking her brutally in front of her daughter. Meanwhile, on the outskirts of Delhi, a fierce revolt is underway. The people, demanding the release of their leader, threaten to set the facility ablaze if their demands are ignored. Raju, a determined officer, breaks through the fence and confronts the rebels. Single-handedly, he takes on dozens of men, showing remarkable bravery and resilience. Even when overwhelmed, Raju remains resolute, aiming to capture the rebel who threw a rock at the military base. Despite the odds, he manages to capture his target and drag him into the facility. His superiors, watching from a distance, are impressed by Raju's unwavering commitment. Though Raju is bloodied and exhausted, his fearsome presence intimidates those who couldn't overcome him. Frustrated by his lack of promotion, Raju channels his anger into intense training, even tearing apart a sandbag with his powerful punches. 6 months later, Katappa visits Edward with troubling news. Scott and Catherine have taken a little girl from a village, which could provoke significant trouble with the Gond community. This community, though peaceful, has a fierce protector, Bheem. Bheem is already on the outskirts of Delhi, determined to recover his lost sheep. Bheem, demonstrating his strength and ingenuity, uses his own body as bait to lure a wolf into a trap. He then follows a tiger's footprints, leading the predator into a confrontation. As the tiger attacks, Bheem manages to trap it, though the rope holding the animal snaps. Undeterred, Bheem throws a tranquilizer at the tiger's snout, causing it to fall unconscious and allowing him to safely deal with the dangerous beast. After a successful hunt with his friends, Bheem heads to town in search of any clue about Malli's whereabouts. Working in a local workshop, Bheem is wrongfully accused of theft by an officer. Despite his strength and ability to defeat the officer, Bheem chooses not to retaliate, as he doesn't want to compromise his cover or endanger his hosts. His injuries are treated by the family that took him in. Edward, aware of Bheem's arrival, plans to deal with him using the British Army. He withholds specific details about Bheem's appearance, but Catherine offers a promotion to anyone who captures him. Raju sees this as his opportunity to advance and volunteer for the mission. Later, Bheem witnesses a soldier attacking one of his people and decides to intervene, despite the risk to his cover. Before he can act, an English woman named Jenny intervenes, ordering the soldier to leave the worker alone. Jenny helps the man up and advises him to return home. Bheem, impressed by her bravery and kindness, becomes curious about her. Meanwhile, Raju and his uncle infiltrate a rebel meeting where a plan to eliminate Governor Scott is proposed. Lachu, who is involved in the plan, initially seeks Raju's help, but realizes Raju is a policeman and flees. Lachu escapes through narrow alleys and blends into the crowd. Bheem gives a coin to a young man to buy fish. Lachu arrives, seeking Bheem's help, and warns him of the trouble he's in. Bheem advises Lachu to go home and hide. As a train on a nearby bridge catches fire and an explosion throws a wagon into the water, Bheem devises a plan to rescue the young fisherman. Raju, seeing Bheem's determination, joins the rescue. Bheem takes a motorcycle while Raju uses a horse. They tie themselves with a rope, lowering themselves from the bridge to save the boy. Bheem shields himself from spreading flames with a flag. Once the fisherman is safe, Bheem and Raju work together to ensure their own safety. They celebrate their successful mission and are warmly welcomed by the locals. The two, now friends, remain unaware that they are on opposite sides of the conflict. In the following days, Raju struggles to find Lachu, despite using a sketch and searching extensively. As the friendship between Raju and Bheem deepens, they become like family to each other. Neither reveals their true identity. Bheem remains unaware that Raju is a policeman, and Raju doesn't know that Bheem is his target. One day, while riding on the back of Bheem's motorcycle, Raju shows Bheem a portrait of Lachu. The paper falls into a puddle and gets ruined. Raju then notices Bheem's affection for Jenny and devises a plan to bring them together. Raju scatters nails on the road to puncture Jenny's car tires, forcing her to stop. He offers her a ride and they head to the market. Jenny mentions needing gifts for an Indian girl in her mansion. Bheem realizes Malli is alive and asks Jenny to deliver a bracelet he made for her. Later, Jenny's chauffeur arrives to take her home. She invites Bheem to a party at the Ginkon Club. Jenny delivers the gifts to Malli, who is thrilled with the bracelet, knowing her savior is near. At the party, Bheem and Raju attend together. Jenny warmly greets Bheem, causing jealousy from Jake. Jenny and Bheem dance, but Jake disrupts and humiliates Bheem. Jake challenges Bheem to a dance duel, and Raju steps in to support his friend. They perform a traditional dance, Desi Nah, impressing everyone and causing Jake's frustration. They become the last competitors, and Raju pretends to have a cramp, allowing Bheem to win. After the party, Jenny invites Bheem for tea. Meanwhile, Raju, recalling Lachu's paint-stained hands, searches art galleries and, with his uncle's help, captures Lachu and takes him to an abandoned warehouse. When Bheem arrives at Jenny's mansion, he is awed by its grandeur. Although Robert tries to stop him, Jenny intervenes intervenes, claiming Bheem as her guest. During tea, Bheem listens to a song by Malli and pretends to be hungry to distract Jenny and search for Malli. Bheem quickly navigates the mansion corridors and finds Malli, but realizes he can't free her alone. He reassures Malli to be patient and leaves before the guards notice. Meanwhile, Raju interrogates Lachu, attacking him for information about his friends. Despite the brutal assault, Lachu refuses to speak. Raju tears off Lachu's necklace, a piece he recognizes from his fiancée, Siva. Later, Lachu captures a poisonous snake and throws it at Raju, who now faces imminent death with no antidote available. With only an hour left, Raju releases Lachu and seeks out his best friend to say goodbye. That night, Bheem plans to storm the palace during a celebration of Scott's return. As the attack begins, Bheem hears synchronized beats and discovers Raju, gravely injured from the snakebite. Bheem quickly prepares a remedy to extract the poison and places his sacred cord around Raju's neck. Raju, seeing the resemblance of Bheem's cord to the necklace, realizes his target was beside him all along. After treating Raju, Bheem takes him home, promising he will recover. Bheem also reveals his mission to rescue Malli. Although weak, Raju resolves to complete his mission, despite the conflict with his friend. Meanwhile, Bheem and his villagers invade the palace, releasing wild animals to distract the guards. Amid the chaos, Bheem advances but is hindered when a guard locks Malli in the castle. Bheem fiercely attacks Robert, defeats him, and secures the key to the castle. However, Raju, now in military uniform, confronts Bheem, determined to capture him. Despite Bheem's explanations, Raju attacks, causing Bheem to lose the key. In a fierce battle, Bheem climbs the palace and spots Malli in danger. As Bheem moves to rescue her, Raju has the chance to eliminate his friend, but chooses to spare him. Bheem manages to overpower and severely wound Raju, using his own sacred cord to restrain him and prevent him from reaching Malli. Days later, Raju is promoted to special officer for capturing Bheem and gains access to the army's weapons. He reflects on his father's training while practicing his marksmanship. Raju's father, Katarama, a former soldier who turned against the British due to their cruelty, trained his people to defend themselves. However, the lack of weapons left them vulnerable. During training, Venkatarama discovers Raju's concealed weapon and punishes him, but Siva defends Raju, revealing his exceptional marksmanship. Katarama, impressed, plans to train Raju as a professional marksman. Returning to their village, they face an attack by armed guards. Many lives are lost. Venkatarama fights to protect his family but is soon out of ammunition. Raju steps in with a chest of bullets, helping his father until Venkatarama is gravely wounded. Venkatarama, unable to continue, asks Raju to take his place, marking Raju's first use of his father's rifle against the enemy. During the chaos, Venkatarama's family tries to escape. China is shot, and Sarojini returns to help, only to be shot herself. Grieving the loss of his family, Raju continues fighting with renewed determination. The military eventually retreats to regroup. Venkatarama had hoped that arming every Indian would drive the Europeans away. Before dying, he asks Raju to promise to arm their people. With only one bullet left, Venkatarama is rigged with explosives and detonated by Raju, destroying the enemy force. To fulfill his father's promise, Raju infiltrates the British army to gain their trust. He sends letters to his fiancée about his progress. As a special officer with access to weapons, he plans to send arms to his village. Despite this, Raju struggles with guilt for betraying his friend and harming those who share his ideals. Bheem is set to be publicly flogged as an example of defiance against the crown, with Raju assigned to carry out the punishment. Despite being urged by Raju to kneel and beg for forgiveness, Bheem refuses, choosing instead to be a symbol of resistance and hope. During the execution, Catherine gives Raju a spiked whip, forcing him to inflict severe punishment on Bheem. Despite the brutality, Bheem's bravery sparks a rebellion. He is imprisoned, facing execution in 2 days. Determined to save his friend and Malli, Raju plans their escape, risking his life. On execution day, Bheem is taken to a transport truck. Venkata Sarulu discreetly gives him a blade to cut his bonds. Raju plans to use Malli's presence to scare Bheem's enemies. As they approach the site, Raju knocks a tree onto the commander's vehicle. Scott survives and begins shooting at Raju. Raju, meanwhile, is impaled by a branch, and Malli is thrown away. Malli flees into the forest, pursued by Raju to prevent her capture. Bheem frees himself, attacks the guards, and escapes with Malli. Raju, despite his injuries, fights off soldiers to ensure Malli's safety. Misunderstanding the situation, Bheem attacks Raju, who is left wounded as they escape. Bheem turns himself in, and Raju is sent to solitary confinement, a cell so small he can barely stand. The army searches the city for fugitives, raiding every house. At the shelter where Bheem and Malli hide, Sitha intervenes by claiming there are tuberculosis cases present, causing the soldiers to leave. Over dinner, Bheem recognizes Sitha's necklace as identical to Raju's pendant and learns that Sitha is engaged to Raju. Sitha reveals she received a letter about Raju's impending execution and is tasked with retrieving his body. Overcome with guilt for abandoning his friend, Bheem vows to rescue Raju and bring him back to his bride. That night, Bheem sneaks into the prison and finds Raju's cell. He tears the railing off and carries Raju on his shoulders. As they flee, guards notice and give chase. The friends narrowly escape, with Raju using his rifle to fend off their pursuers. They climb a tower, knock out a guard, and leap over the wall into the forest. Bheem treats Raju's injuries before they head to a lake for water, but are surrounded by enemy soldiers. Raju arrives just in time, using a bow and arrows he found to eliminate the soldiers and set the area ablaze. As new enemies arrive, Bheem destroys their vehicles with a spear, while Raju fires grenades at them. When Raju is shot by Edward, Bheem retaliates by hurling a motorcycle at Edward and impaling him with a spear. The friends pursue the commander, launching a flaming motorcycle at Scott's castle. The explosion ignites a stockpile of explosives, destroying the palace and killing everyone inside. Scott, enraged by the death of his wife, confronts the attackers alone. Before he can fire, Bheem shoots him in the chest. With the British Crown's allies eliminated, Bheem and Raju reunite with their families. Raju is joyfully reunited with his fiancée. Returning to their village with weapons, Raju fulfills his father's promise. Bheem completes his mission, bringing Malli home. To her delight, Malli's mother survived and was reunited with her daughter. That's the end of the movie. Make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications to watch more recaps. Thanks for watching and take care.